Hello and welcome to Byju's IAS. This is 7th of October 2021 and we are back with the next edition of your daily quiz. Let's see the questions that we have for you today. Question number 1 is this. Consider the following statements with regards to RTS, S AS01 malaria vaccine and choose the correct ones. Number 1. It is the first ever anti-malarial vaccine recommended by the WHO. Number 2. The vaccine specifically aims to cover children in sub-Saharan Africa. Number 3. The vaccine has been developed by GlaxoSmithKline and forms an essential part of WHO's E2025 initiative. You have to pick the correct statement out of these three. Let's look at these statements one by one. Number 1. It is the first ever anti-malarial vaccine recommended by the WHO is absolutely correct. This is a reason why it was covered in the Hindu newspaper today. Although there has been a lot of talk about this vaccine for a long time, but it is now that the official recommendation of WHO has come out. The second statement also is correct. This is specifically aimed towards children who are the worst sufferers of malaria in sub-Saharan Africa. The third statement again is correct. It is developed by GlaxoSmithKline, one of the most famous pharmaceutical companies in the world, and it forms an essential part of WHO's E2025 initiative. What exactly is this initiative? Under this, WHO aims to control the spread of malaria in 25 earmarked nations by the end of 2025. Now, let me ask you a question here. Is India a part of this 25 nation group or not? Do let me know in the comment section below. The correct answer here would be D, 1, 2, and 3. All these given statements are absolutely correct. As you can see, the Hindu newspaper carried an article today which says that WHO recommends first anti-malarial vaccine for children in sub-Saharan Africa specifically. As you know, malaria is a disease caused by parasite. Moving on to question number 2. The 2021 Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine was awarded to the researchers David Julius and Ardim Patapossian for their work on how human body perceives temperature and pressure. In their research, they found out that the body's receptor for heat only gets activated at what level? Above 40 degrees Celsius, above 28 degrees Celsius, above 35 degrees Celsius, or above 45 degrees Celsius. The correct answer here is A, above 40 degrees Celsius. Over the past few days, you would have heard a lot about the Nobel Prizes being declared for different fields, and I'm sure that you would have kept a note of who is getting the Nobel Prize for what research. As you can see in the Hindu newspaper today, there was an article about the research for which the Nobel Prize for Physiology and Medicine was awarded. As you can see here, Dr. Julius utilized capsaicin, which is a key ingredient in hot chili peppers and induces a burning sensation, to identify a sensor in the nerve ending of the skin. The receptor for heat gets activated only above 40 degrees Celsius. In 2002, 5 years after the heat sensor was discovered, the two laureates and independently used menthol to discover the receptor that senses cold temperatures. So an interesting article which I'm sure many of you would have already read. Next question. Which of the following statements is or are incorrect regarding the appellate authority, which is a part of WTO's dispute resolution mechanism? Number 1. It is an ad hoc body of 7 members and acts as an appellate court for hearing appeals from decisions given by the WTO panels. Number 2. The authority has not been working since 2019 since China has vetoed every proposal to fill in the existing vacancies. Number 3. At least 5 people are required to preside over an appeal. Again, remember you have to choose the incorrect ones. Let's look at these statements one by one. The first statement in itself has multiple facts. It says that it is an ad hoc body. It says that it has 7 members and the fact that it hears appeals from decisions of the WTO panel. Now, if any one of these turns out to be wrong, the statement itself would turn out to be incorrect, which is the case here. It is actually not an ad hoc body. This is a permanent body. Ad hoc means a body which is formed only when required. But this appellate authority is actually permanent. Yes, it has 7 members. Yes, it hears appeals against the decisions given by the WTO panel, but it is not an ad hoc body. The authority has not been working because of China. No, China is not always a villain. It is the US. It is the United States of America which has been vetoing most of the proposals to fill in the existing vacancies. Third statement again is wrong because it needs at least 3 people to preside over an appeal and not 5. So a lot of fact filled question this one. All these 3 given statements are wrong, and that is why the answer is D, since you had to choose the incorrect ones. Pretty interesting article in the Hindu newspaper today, which talks about the rising number of multilateral trade agreements being signed throughout the world, which somewhere undermines the position of WTO. Do read this article to understand more about this. Next question. Consider the following statements with regards to reservation in promotions and choose the correct ones. First, Article 16(4)(a) provides that the state can make any provisions for reservation in matters of promotion in favor of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes if they are not adequately represented in the services under the state. Second, Article 16(4)(b), added by the 81st Constitutional Amendment 2000, enabled the unfilled SC/ST quota of a particular year to be carried forward to the next year. In the third statement, the Supreme Court in the year 2020 ruled that reservation in matters of promotion in public post is not a fundamental right. Choose the correct ones. Again, a very heavy factual question from Indian polity. The correct answer here is D. All the 3 given statements are correct. The first 2 statements talk about Article 16 and give the exact information contained in Article 16. The third statement talks about the Supreme Court declaring that having reservation in matter of promotion is not a fundamental right is also correct. If you have any confusion about the third statement, it can be easily understood by looking at statement number 1. The first statement says that the state can make provisions for reservation in matters of promotion if they are not adequately represented, meaning that it is the state's prerogative to decide whether or not the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes are adequately represented. In the mind of the state, if they are not, only and only then there would be provisions made for reservation in promotion. So it is not a fundamental right. The reason why we are discussing this question is because of this article in the Hindu newspaper today, according to which the government has asked the Supreme Court to set up quota norms for promotion in order to ensure that the debate of reservation and promotions ends once and for all. Moving on to the previous year question discussion for the day. This was a question asked in the 2019 prelims examination. Which of the following is not a Harappan site? Chanhudaro, Kot Diji, Sogora, or Desalpur? Very interesting question. The correct answer to which is C. Sogora is actually renowned not for being a Harappan site, but for being a site where Ashokan inscriptions were actually found. You can see this copper plate that was found in Sogora. This is a village near the district of Gorakhpur in UP. This inscription is considered as an inscription from the Ashokan era. Time for the fact of the day. The fact of the day today is based on the Krishna River dispute. And the reason why we are discussing this is because the government of Telangana has withdrawn its plea in the Supreme Court on Krishna water. We thought it's a good time to look at a brief history of the Krishna water dispute in the country. Krishna, as you know, is one of the most significant rivers in South India. It flows through 4 states, starting with Maharashtra, going towards Karnataka, also covering Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. If you look at the history of the Krishna River dispute, we have to go back to 1969 when the government of India established a common tribunal for two rivers, that is Krishna and Godavari. However, the three states, I'm saying three because Telangana did not exist at that time, the three states, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh, requested the government to solve the matter of Krishna River on a priority basis, based on which the government of India made a separate tribunal for the Krishna water dispute, making it separate from Godavari. The verdict of the tribunal was given in 1976. Although it was followed for close to 3 decades, in 2004, the second tribunal was formed because all these three states were somewhere dissatisfied with the water distribution. The second tribunal gave its verdict in the year 2010 and distributed water between Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Maharashtra. It also said that the next review would be done only after 2050. So, why now? The reason why we are discussing this now is because when Telangana came into being in 2014, they started to argue that they have not been given a fair share of water. Telangana, since 2014, has been demanding the formation of a third tribunal on the Krishna River so that they should also get a fair share of water. On the other hand, the states of Karnataka and Maharashtra have been opposing this formation of a new tribunal because, in their view, this is a matter that needs to be resolved only between Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and their water share should not be disturbed. This is it for today's daily quiz. I hope you enjoyed it. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much.